So they need Will's face here. Anyway, I'll pick the next one. Over here, Red Cape.
I was wondering, are you gonna do another sort of series retrospective like you did with March of the Titans?
Yes, actually. Next March, this March I should say, the Romtrospective, where we are talking about Rom Space Knight. And most of you people have no idea who the hell Rom Space Knight is. Okay, I'll explain this very briefly. Rom was a toy. It was a toy tie-in comic for this little robot with light-up eyes. It was not a very good toy, but of course, in situations like this, where you have absolutely nothing to work with it other than the general look of something, you are allowed to go nuts with it. And have so many interesting ideas and dramatic plot lines and actual change for the characters. So Rom Space Knight is like an 80-issue series where this like robot this man sacrifices his humanity to become a robot and hunt down these spectral creatures called dire wraiths on Earth. And the dire wraiths, and the great thing about Marvel and its tie-in licensed comics, they're all canon. Transformers was canon for a brief time. 2001: A Space Odyssey is technically canon because it created Machine Man, who became an ongoing character in Marvel Comics. Have you ever read Next Wave Agents of Hate? That Machine Man came from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And so legally, they're not allowed to mention Rom himself these days because, of course, the toy line is defunct and Mattel or Hasbro, whoever owned the toy, doesn't care. So they're not allowed to mention Rom by name, but all the elements they invented for the comics are allowed to be played with. So they become an ongoing thing. The dire wraiths are an ongoing X-Men villain. Exactly. It's fascinating like that, and so next year we're gonna have a 2-part Romtrospective where we look at that series. I know it's not as popular as Teen Titans, but it was the next thing I thought of when I thought of complete awesome comic run, because people are interested in hearing about good comics and doing a big overview of good comics. And March of the Titans was so damn fun for me. I had such a blast doing that, revisiting all these characters that I enjoyed and loved. It really revitalized me and my interest in doing the show. And then I can't remember what I did right afterwards. Did I do like Marvel right afterwards? And of course that happiness took a nosedive right afterwards and reminded me what I hate about this medium. I'm kidding. I still love it. I actually love doing the Marvel reviews because it gave me so much material to work with. All right, Will, you pick the next one. What
do you think of IDW comics?
I'm not as familiar with IDW staples because IDW is mostly licensed material. And mind you, it's good licensed material for the most part, Silent Hill. But I hear good things about them. I know they're doing a lot of good stuff and they're starting to move into, I think, a bit more original properties, but otherwise nothing specific. They did Infestation, didn't they? Yeah, so that's a good thing right there. They're a good company.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Kat.
We saw that at the end that mostly everybody was going to be okay at the end of taking the forms are.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see that answer. Is he going to be okay?
Yeah, he is. That was my own fault. I should have filmed the thing with him. I just forgot to actually add in a bit where he just puts up a sign making a sarcastic remark about the entire situation. Like I knew about this. Why do I always know about this crap before you guys? Yeah, it's entirely my fault in that. But yes, Ninja Style Dancer was fine. I did briefly consider having him be part of the. Who has not seen the finale? Okay, I'll spoil this for you. The Ninja Style Dancer is not in the finale. I've considered having him in the finale in the big rescue mission, but he did. But I just realized that he doesn't really serve a purpose that the others do. So that's why he doesn't appear in that. But he they didn't know how to wake him up. The Poyo and the Foam Lizard did not know how to awaken him because the Insano android was keeping him unconscious. But he is okay. Will?
Okay, lately I noticed Hollywood has been completely sucking off the independent comics lately and pulling them left and right, making movies out of them. I want to know, as an old school comic book lover, what is your best? What do you think was the best one done recently, and the one that was just in the crapper?
I'm sorry to say I am not as familiar with the indie stuff. That's always been my problem. I've always been focused on the superhero stuff in particular. Now I can answer my thoughts about best and worst superhero comics, but yeah, stuff like Ghost World or A History of Violence, stuff like that, I sadly am not as familiar with. And it's honestly because I just like superheroes. It's not that those are bad. They're critically acclaimed, Eisner Award-winning, wonderful things. It's not my thing because superheroes are a genre which really work best in comic books. They got their start in comic books. They will continue in comic books even after both companies finally declare bankruptcy, and maybe more DC than Marvel these days. But there you go. But in terms of like best and worst superhero stuff, you can feel free to think about your own stuff. Best, in my opinion, is actually Batman Begins. And nothing against the other two Dark Knight movies, because I like them both too. Batman Begins works the best for me because it explored the thing that always fascinated me about superheroes, and that's the philosophy of it, and why someone would decide to dress up like a bat. The reasoning behind that instead of just like a black-clad ninja or something like that. Why in particular the visual imagery of it. And Bruce's speech about people need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy. That really hit something in my head and really inspired me. The worst superhero movie I've ever seen, especially in terms of recent stuff, is Man of Steel. Now, if you like Man of Steel, more power to you. There's people are allowed to like or dislike what they wish. I absolutely hated it because it seemed like it did, because in my opinion, it did not capture what Superman was all about, his ideals, the morality of it, and being a shining beacon of hope. But that's just my thing. No, that's... People compare things to Twilight too much. In this case, there's nothing Twilight about it other than the fact that it's really gray, which seems to be a thing now. Marvel is really excelling in the fact that their movies are so bright and colorful. Oh my God, Avengers was so fun. Avengers was we had red, white, and blue to red and gold to black and red, lots of reds actually, to big green monster thing, Thor and big red king. There's a lot of red.
Spader playing Ultron.
Spader playing Ultron. I'm really looking forward to Age of Ultron, and I hope you are too.
And there's Hawkeye.
There's Hawkeye who's purple and black. There's this great Saturday Night Live sketch that happened right after Avengers came out. It actually had Jeremy Renner hosting and being Hawkeye. They do the thing where it's like, okay, you go over there, Hawkeye, I need you up there doing the thing. No, I can't. Why not? I'm out of arrows. What do you mean you're out of arrows? I only brought like 12. Well, don't you need another one? Well, I suppose I could pull one out of a guy. Okay, yes, you, madam, white jerk.
I have a question and a comment. Question, will you be making any more Harvey Feingold CDs?
I've often considered it. If I do, I need to take more time with it. The holiday album was a bit rushed, I'm sorry to say, and as a result of it, it's because I only got out like the 23rd of December because I needed to get it out in order, because otherwise, who's going to buy a Christmas album after Christmas? Yeah. Maybe. Although in this case, I'm making a holiday DVD right now, which should be available at the end of November, which will be at a reduced price because like half of it will be taken up by the Scrooge riff I released already. But we'll have a new Atop the Fourth Wall, 2 new long box of the damned holiday-themed ones. Marte looks at Christmas comics and is very confused. But in terms of the Harvey Feingold CD, I do kind of want to do another one. I'm going to have to find either some public domain tracks or figure out licensing for certain, old Frank Sinatra classics and whatnot, and take some more time with it, because a lot of the Christmas album sounds more like Lewis singing it versus Harvey singing it. Although the best song on that album is Wonderful White World of Winter, in my personal opinion, which is why it's the one right on the front page when you go to that band